Hey everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we are doing some DIY home holiday decor. Now this one is real simple and real easy. I was over at Menards the other day and it was $26.47 for one of these simple snowman boards. You just prop them against your door. Easy, simple decoration. You can use treated or non-treated wood. Let's show you what I've got started. So the first thing you do is start off with either 2 or 3 boards. Now I had these narrower boards that are about 2 inches by maybe an inch. And these were scrap boards that we had in a storage trailer. And I had these boards here already cut. So some of it is treated, this wood is not treated. It doesn't matter because a lot of times people are putting these on covered porches, they're going to be painted, and you can put 2 strips of wood on the back here to join them together if you have 2 separate pieces of wood. You can do this with a 1x6 or a 1x8. So, you know, with right here we've got, it's essentially a 2x4 that is a 1. It's not as thick. So if that makes sense to you, sometimes that helps a lot. You can use a paint stir stick to attach these. You just put a strap on the back. At the moment, I've only got this board nailed in, and you can do it with a brad nailer, a pneumatic stapler. A normal stapler is not going to make it through this 1 inch thick. So these are 1 inch here, and this is about 1.5 inches. Now that's called a nominal board measurement. It's not the actual. So they're a little less than 1 inch. This is going to be a hat. So to demonstrate, I've already started this one. I've painted the top black, and this is going to be a snowman's hat. Real simple, easy to do. Now make sure you paint around the edges, and I'll paint the back when I'm done, just a solid color, whatever I end up with more left over of the paint. I am just using these small, they're almost like a sample pot. It's an 8-ounce thing of paint. This is the Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch latex. Low odor. I'm doing it right on the kitchen counter. The whole family is around, and just black and white, and then you can use orange for the nose. So real simple. I'm going to go ahead and work on this one here. We're doing 2. I'm doing one for my home and another one as a gift. So just real simple. Go around the edges. So if you wanted to, you could even paint these boards disassembled. I just figured this would be faster and easier to do this. I'm going to hit this edge here with a heat gun or a blow dryer. Use whatever you have. I didn't want to hunt down my heat gun, so we are going to use the blow dryer and dry this paint along the edge so that you don't have paint bleeding where your 2 colors are going to meet. All right, so now our edges are all dry, and you can see that I have the body of my snowman all painted here. I did want to note I'm using scrap material, and this will set leaning against the wall fine. You can cut a straight edge on the bottom. We have several home improvement projects going on in different zip codes, so I don't have my saw here, and I tested it out. It leaned against the floor and the side of the wall fine, so we're going to leave it as is for now, just so that we can get this project completed. And this is where a steady hand comes in hand, or you can use some painter's tape or anything for a straight edge to protect your black paint. And it's going to be on the underside of the hat, so it's not a huge deal. And that's why you want to use a hair dryer or a heat gun, so that you're not turning your white paint gray from running along the edge of the black. Now, because this is latex paint, it says it'll dry in about an hour. And that's a good amount of time to get anything done with the family that you need to do. And you can see here I have old nailing holes from this. I just kind of broke away any loose wood that had fractured out of it, because this one will be a distressed or farmhouse finish and this one will not. Everyone likes something a little bit different. And if you just take some sandpaper, like 220 grit around the edges, then it can get you that raw edge country Christmas look that you might be looking for, which is very popular now with the buffalo plaids and the little red farm truck.
Can you take that out?
Now connect your lines there, slow. Fill it all in. Now straighten out that line right there.
This one?
No, at the edge of the bottom.
Hey guys,
No, back here.
Yep.
So you got a little glob that's right there? There you go. There. Oh.
Those look a little bit too big, George.
You are a great artist.
I think him are.
Yeah, I like to paint.
I think it looks like a carrot nose.
It's one of my favorite. It's a lot. We're doing, Christmas and holidays.
All right.
It's really nice.
Oh, look at that, Bethany.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're going to show you how to get from this to the finished look. Now, we had a really good idea off camera. You could take some small branches from your yard and use them for arms for the snowman. You can use some artificial greenery from the store. You can use sparkly stuff like this. That makes a good arm. We decided we wanted a little bit of dimension and decoration on the top. Now, this is where it can really get into some creativity. You could glue on some buttons. You could screw on some buttons. I was afraid that with the temperature changes, it may fall off. So we're going ahead and painting on the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And we are using all materials that we already had on hand. I had actually bought one of these Sharpie paint markers a couple of months ago for something else. And this works really good for this, to be able to get a good circle. Now, the texture on this board is really rough, so it is a little bit harder to make a perfect circle because it wants to run. And you can see I had that a little bit there. You can touch that up or just make your circle a little bit bigger and avoid that. But I want to work on the hat part before the face. So Bethany, she's going to hold this and put it up here for the hat while I run the stapler and the camera. So we've started out with just a ribbon that we had Christmas leftover stuff that we aren't using this year off of our tree. This is a really great way to recycle things from the thrift store and be able to make something new. All right, so she's going to hold that right there. This is not a type of staple gun. They have power ones for kids to use. You will have to help out if you're having kiddos. This is a great project to do for neighbors, teachers.
And it is very fine if you do not like the sound of this staple to staple something to the wood or whatever you were making your snowman out of.
Yes, that's right. So you can see I had to turn my hand a different direction because that was hard for me, wrenching my hand the other way. And you can trim off your end if you want. I just give it an extra little staple. Okay, so we reloaded our stapler and we've got this piece stapled on, and it's a good accent piece just to add some texture and a little definition. Like I said, you can do this with any kind of ribbon, you know, different things that you want. I just don't really recommend fabric ribbon or grosgrain ribbon because it can fray and fall apart. This is a wired ribbon, and I think it'll stay really well because it's intended for wreaths. So we've got some damaged candle ring decorations that we no longer need, and we have snipped off the pieces. And this is where I said, you know, reuse and recycle. We've got some decorations here on the floor that we were able to choose from. You can even decorate the hat part with some ornaments and make it a little bit different. So Bethany's gonna hold the flower flat. Put your finger right there for me and hold that flat. And we're gonna staple this on. And this is also gonna help with the ribbon staying put. All right. All right, so now we have a second one, and you wanna make sure you don't put your staple on top of another staple, because if you hit it, it's not gonna anchor down. Watch your assistant's fingers. Okay, one more. So we are using 4 of these little poinsettia pieces. Things look really good in 3 or 4. We did 4 here and a ribbon or a bow. So we're gonna do the same thing again. And we happen to think that this is a really good thing to be able to give as a gift to a neighbor. And we have a neighbor.
Or a friend that lives nearby. Because if you have something, a friend that lives nearby, like somebody else or, you know, stuff like that, you can give them a little something for the holidays.
That's right. Okay, hold this here for me and we'll get another staple in. So at this point, it's good to decide what you're going to use as a filler right here. So you can see just barely a little bit of staple work, and that's where the bow kind of helps coming in, filling in some of that. You can use an ornament like this, or you can put the ornament kind of dangling at the bottom. That's really cute. You could do a couple of ornaments. That's always really nice too.
And you can also do like a little bell, so in the wind on snowy nights and days, you can hear little bells when the wind blows, and it will ring when the wind blows if it's in a windy spot.
Okay, so because this is a gift, we probably want to keep it a little bit simple, but this bow is going to come in really handy for hiding any staples up there. So what do you think? More or less?
I think
more is more, right?
Yeah, I think we should do one and take the snowflake and put this a little like.
Put that in there?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So first we'll put the tree in, and
we can find something to do with the snowflake.
Oh, I thought you were saying you don't want the snowflake.
Yeah, we don't want it. You can just.
All right, we'll just leave it out. All right, stapler. And of course you could just string this on too. All right, that's anchored, and now the strings of the bow.
And all this right here will make your little designery very pretty. And if you're giving it to a friend, you can make it look nice and your very own art. It doesn't have to be perfect or try as hard as you can, but you can just take your time and do it slowly. And it can be like, like we are adding flowers and this. And that is really pretty.
So Bethany decided we did need the extra touch of the snowflake. So there's that. Now you just want to decide where your face is going to be. So if you want to distress your wood, this is a good time to do it, just to go around the edges to have that more weathered look, unless you want to have the face weathered also, or you could just kind of skip doing any of that. Now with latex paint, you may want to seal, like we use latex for the white. You can get Rust-Oleum Clear and seal the whole thing. I think it's going to be okay for our application. So just kind of decide where you want your eyes to be in relation to the hat. And you can make your top hat as tall or as short as you like, just by adjusting the board that's going across. And of course I always like a tipped hat, so that's what we did. We're just kind of eyeballing this, and these Sharpie marker ink pens are really good. Now when you push down on that, be real careful because it flows out fast.
Full of ink, yes.
And it's actually ink, it's paint. It's a paint marker, right?
Yes. And we have seen this happen before, so we are just giving you a little warning that paint markers can be very goopy and inky and stuff.
So you can see I had like a little bit of run there. I'm not getting the circle that I wanted, so I'm just making my eye a little bit bigger and try to straighten it out. All right. So you see about an inch from the side there, and that's about the same thing that we did with mouth. Now this board is a little more textured, so I have to be a little slower to make sure it's not going to run. And of course, if you want your snowman to have blue eyes or snowflake eyes, you can get as creative as you want. So then I just look at it and say, okay, how do I have to fix this? And we're gonna go, just try to make it a little more round.
What happened?
So now we're just using the ruler to kind of gauge an inch in from the sides for the start of my smile. And I find it's a lot easier to use dots or lumps of coal for your smile than to try to do a straight curved or, you know, anything smile like that. Bethy's oh my goshing next to me because that little dab got big. You still want them as big as the eyes, huh?
Yeah.
And then just go down a little bit further, and pretty much I figure if you can get about 3 little lumps of coal here on each board and one in the center, then it is good. Push real lightly if you have to get more of the paint flowing out of the tip, because it wants to run fast. And then put one in the center here. See that? You have a nice little smile. And now, Miss Bethany is a great artist. She does art almost every day of her life. And she is going to make us a nose. Now this was some peach wall paint. We added some red to it to make it a little more orange, so that we wouldn't have to run out. We thought, oh, we're gonna have to make a trip to the store. Now, make yourself a nice triangle. Now the first one that she did here, we kind of drew it on with a pencil so that we would know. All right, our memory card got full. So as you can see, the free-handed nose turned out just as good as the other, and we already made our delivery, and I'm thinking I need to go ahead and get some supplies out to make some more today because I really like that with 2. And we're gonna start in on another project. So the next video will be a Christmas tree door greeter. So tune in for that, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when that next video comes out. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.